Oil slides as supply glut, fear, deepen, and Washington signals diplomatic leverage on Ukraine. Global oil markets closed the week on a sharply bearish note, with prices falling more than 2% as traders recalibrated expectations around an emerging supply glut and closely monitored diplomatic signals emanating from Washington over a potential Russia Ukraine peace deal. Brent crude futures slipped 2.57% to settle a $60.64 per barrel, while US West Texas Intermediate dropped 2.76% to $56.74. The decline underscores a broader structural shift in the energy market where geopolitical risk is increasingly falling to offset fundamental driven by excess supply. Despite recent price support from supply disruptions and geopolitical uncertainty, oil is now on track for its steepest annual decline since 2020. Brent crude is down roughly 19% this year, while WTI has fallen more than 21%, reflecting sustained concerns over rising global production and swelling inventories. At the heart of the bearish outlook is a mounting supply imbalance. The Paris based International Energy Agency estimates that global oil supply will exceed demand by approximately 3.84 million barrels per day next year, reinforcing fears that the market is heading in a prolonged period of oversupply. Analysts note that while geopolitical tensions continue to inject short term volatility, they have failed to alter the market's underlying trajectory. According to energy hedging specialist, geopolitical risk premiums may offer temporary relief, but too little to challenge the dominant oversupply narrative shaping investor sentiment. Adding another layer of complexity, investors are closely watching diplomatic developments tied to the Russia-Ukraine war, with Washington once again at the center of a global attention. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet US President Donald Trump in Florida this weekend, fueling speculation that the breakthrough, however tentative, could alter the geopolitical landscape. Markets are particularly sensitive to the possibility that a peace framework could eventually lead to the easing or removal of sanctions on Russia's oil sector, potentially releasing additional barrels into an already saturated market. Zelensky has indicated that key territorial disputes remain the primary obstacle to a ceasefire, though he has signaled openness to a national referendum should Russia agree to halt hostilities. Moscow, for its part, has acknowledged renewed contact with US officials after receiving American proposal related to a possible settlement, an admission that has only intensified market scrutiny. From an energy perspective, even modest progress in peace talk carries downside risk for crude prices. Elevated global storage level, combined with the prospect of sanctioned supply re-entering the market, continue to weigh heavily on sentiment. Washington's influence over oil market is not limited to Eastern Europe. The White House has also instructed US military forces to intensify efforts aimed at economically isolating Venezuelan oil exports, signaling a preference for economic containment rather than direct confrontation. However, analysts suggest that the immediate global impact of these measures remains limited, especially when compared to the scale of the looming supply surplus.